Hey guys, welcome to the live tonight. Now, I will look more handsome than usual. Don't you say it, Scott? I look more clear.
Lord above. What day is it? Sunday?
It's Sunday.
Sunday.
You're not
telling
allowed to say
fibs
things.
on the
You're not
Lord's
allowed to.
Day.
You're not allowed to say things on the Lord's Day, right? The guys, I look about me clearer. The reason being is I'm using my iPad Air for the simple reason my poor laptop died.
Sad face.
The poor soul. She was a good computer. She's kept me going these 18 years now.
Aye, all right, Chris, don't drag it out.
But it just died on me, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to let the chat fill up. If Lunar Eclipse is on, because she's a medium T, if she wants, she can join. Listen, guys, if you're in the chat, please share your links. If you're in the chat, and let's all see who's coming in. Here's Scott. How are you, Scott?
I'm a lot better than you since I don't have a laptop to, die, basically. But good evening to Sarah. I know she loves me, but here. Oracle's there. Hi, Oracle. Dobby's here. Good evening. I hope you all had a good Sunday. Better than Chris's.
No. My poor laptop.
So if he burst into tears tonight, then, give him a wee, was it virtual hug? A virtual hug and pat in the back. Maybe.
Well,
but I'm fine. I was today. I went to a local park. I've been there a few times, but we get told there's a mass grave there. I live in Kilmarnock, which is near you, and I'm going to have a wee look through the old Google and that. But seeing there's a mass grave there. There was a cholera outbreak, and it's 250 people passed away. So there's a mass grave in this park. So I went hunting for it today, and I found it. I did find it. So I've got I took some video of it. It's quite nice. And that'll be going up on either Facebook or YouTube. But it's right in the middle. See, it's amazing the places that are right in the middle of your town, and you don't actually realise it. I mean, we found that cemetery last week. It's about a 5-minute drive for us. And I've got a video of that as well. And it's an old cemetery. And some of the gravestones are just destroyed, but it's right in the middle of your town. And you pass by it every day, and you don't even know it's there.
Well,
until somebody says to you.
The new ones. I've got 2 cemeteries in my village. I've got the old one you've been to, and then I've got the other one. But the other one's still 100 odd years old. You'll need to come up and see that, because there is the old bit's really interesting. That wee boy that drowned in the river's actually buried as you go in the gate to the left hand side.
I mind you saying he was there, but like you've got Edinburgh and that, which is saturated with cemeteries, churches, and all the rest of it. But it's amazing how in your own town that you really don't notice these things. I mean, I had no idea about the cholera outbreak and what have you, and it was not a very pleasant time. Do you know what I mean? But
I'd just like to say hello to James Ramsey in the chat. We've got 11 people watching. Now, tonight, guys, we're going to be talking about mediumship only, how they can see the spirits. And Scott might be doing some readings. How do you feel about that, Scott?
Well, say hi to James first, Nicole, and
hey, Nicole.
Pardon me, Drew's there as well. Evening to you all. Hope your day was very pleasant. As I said earlier, I've never done it before. I've never can open myself up to that. I've wanted to try it, but I've never actually done it. So there's kind of no guarantees with it.
We'll get a wee while, right, and let you feel your psychic energies, right? We'll get a wee while for the old chat to kind of Drew's paranormal. If you're wondering why I'm looking better, obviously my camera doesn't look hazy. I wasn't going to say looking handsome. My laptop died. My 18-year-old laptop died. But anyway, Still turns on, lights up, but that's what it does. But anyway, I'm using my iPad now, guys, and I'm on a wireless connection. So if the internet goes wonky, I'm sorry. But I will be getting a wire connection for my iPad soon. 11 friends to go until I have 400. Oh, close. Well, share your link. Share your link, woman. So, Scott,
get the links out. Get the links in there. There's Legacy Paranormal. Thanks for coming along. Good to see you.
Paranormal, welcome. Welcome to the chat. If you're wondering why I'm happy, I'm eating lots of candy and drinking iron brew.
Hatchie's in. Hi, Hatchie.
Hey, Hatchie, he's usually first to arrive. You know, for every live stream I've ever done, Hatchie is usually the first guy in the chat.
Just kind of late tonight.
Yes. Why are you late tonight, Hatchie? Oh. Is that your kid coming to say hello?
She's not seen me all weekend. Oh, she's just, I know it's a total change of subject, but in our bedroom we've got a shelf and on top of a door, basically is really, really high up. Now, somehow Pepper managed to jump up on there today and she gets stuck. So Tiana's just informed me that she's now back up there. And I'm the only one that can get her down. So if you excuse me for about 60 seconds.
I will entertain my guests. I will
tell them
entertain
about
them with the prize draw.
And
that's what I'll do.
Polishing and stuff. And I'll be back in about a minute once I rescue a cat.
Right, guys. This is the book that we'll be giving away soon. Look at that. You can see it in high definition now. I'm using my iPad. Should have been using this all along. But there we go. Scottish Ghost Stories. It's getting given away at 700 subscribers. Yes. Hello there. Who's new? Oh, Nicole. Hello there, Nicole, if I missed you. But Drew's paranormal, don't you, Drew? You want to read this before the other subscribers get to win it. You know? And it's got all the ghost stories, basically, Scotland. It's got over, let me see, I'll tell you exactly how many ghost stories we've got here. Oh, good God. There's about 70 or 80 ghost stories in this. So it's getting given away at 700. I will do I'll do like a live that day when I get to 700. And then whoever's in the chat will do a chat for like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. We'll do like a lottery thing and we'll pick some of the lucky winners. Hey, Luna, would you like to come in, Luna, to the show? It's only about mediumship and about questions about mediums. And I know that you're a medium. Would you like to come in? Let me see if it lets me. This works for me. Paste. There you go, Luna. If you click on that, you can come in. I'm getting you. So because of this iPad is all touch screen, I've not got my mouse. I've not got a mouse, and I feel weird because I've not got a mouse to use because my main computer's dead. And Luna and Scott are probably the only people that can contact my computer. What's that, Drew's paranormal vlog? Yes, please. And I can easily. I've noticed with the iPad, this is amazing technology, guys. I noticed with the iPad now, guys, that before I had to click on each person's name to add them to the screen. Now I just need to slightly touch one name. Look at that, magic fingers. Hey, Scott, did you manage to do the rescue mission? You're back.
Oh, I'm excuse the French, I'm buggered. So I need to get a chair to jump up. And it's quite a deep shelf. So this time she decided to go right to the back of it. So even with a stand in a chair, I'm still struggling to reach her to grab her tail. I know it sounds cruel, folks. I love her to bits. But the only way I could get her out was just to grab the tail and yank her out to where I was. So drive her over. I've put a box up there in a bag, so hopefully she'll get the hint that's a no-go area. So I do apologise for that, folks. So a bit of, sometimes you're woman trouble, cat trouble, cat trouble.
I've invited Luna to come in. She's in the chat. Remember,
hi, Luna.
I'll remember again, Luna. Everybody that's in the chat, please share your channels. Help everybody to grow. I don't know if Luna's joining in or no. I put the link in the chat. So, Scott, off you go.
Yes.
Tell us some mystical things from beyond.
Well, you know, the shows about mediumship, basically every Sunday will be strictly about mediums. And mediumship sprouted from spiritualism, which came from, which actually started off with the Fox sisters in New York back mid or early 19th century. They had different beliefs, etc. For the run-of-the-mill church. And so the movement was started called spiritualism. And there was a man called Alan Kardec that first started writing about it, and he termed it as spiritism. He ended up writing about 5 books on a foreign. Every book was in a foreign language. It became known as the Spiritus Confication. Let's try and say this right. Confication. It's a bit of a mouthful for me.
Say that again. Say that again.
I could say it another way if you really want, but then it's Sunday.
What was it? What was it again? Was it a quantification?
A quantification. It's a quantification.
Oh, hi. Right, on you go.
Are you done trying to slag me off?
I'm just a bit of entertainment, you know.
So from this, mediums were born, but unfortunately there was a good and a bad side to it, because the good side was that there was some genuine mediums out there that could contact the dead, give messages, but the other side was there was a lot of people out there that saw this as a way of just simply making money, because obviously back then there was no way to prove whether a person was genuine or fake. No. It was all new, all fresh. People were hungry for, I want to know if my mum's still about, dad's still about. So anybody could get up and say, I'm a medium. And, but so after mediums came about, seances came about in houses and that. And this led to the use of deep stage tricks. And it was actually the Bangs, Bangs, Bangs sisters, and the Davenport brothers. They got caught as being fraudulent. They were using cheap tricks to create false lights, make things move about, that kind of thing. So they were exposed as frauds.
It was quite a big thing in the Victorian times, mediumship.
It was because it was new. And, people, as I say, people were wanting to know if their relatives were about. And plus, back then, some people still have the same view, death was seen as very, very terrifying, heaven and hell. And so I think spiritualism and mediumship were giving people that wee bit of hope that, okay, maybe it's not all, burning fires or whatever. But as I say, the Davenport brothers, Bangs sisters, they were exposed. So seance threw a big kind of dark blanket over the whole medium type world. And so seances kind of died out. They're still going today, but back then they became less popular, which gave birth to the platform medium. The mediums you see today, like on TV, they may have arranged their own show or they've been invited in a chat show. So they're platform mediums. Basically, it's self-explanatory. They get up on a stage or a platform in front of an audience and they do their thing. But you still get, frauds in that. They use different techniques. These fakers, basically, and you make a lot of money out of it. But
you still get them today.
You still get them to this day. Yeah. It's the type of thing you're always going to get.
Well, it's a thing you can't really prove, is it?
That's it. So you're always going to get people who say, I'm a medium, or I can do this, you know, and it's, as you do and other things in life, anybody can stand up and say, right, I can do this. So it's just unfortunate that it's something that's always going to come about. And it's a thing I feel very, very strong about, is faking it. I've always been totally against it. People have shot me down in the past, you know, because of what I've said about it, but it really, if you're going to do it, and if you're serious with doing it, don't fake it. You know, you're lying to yourself, but more important, you're lying to those people that are wanting a bit of hope for you. Sorry, Chris, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say to my lovely subscribers, could you please give me a thumbs up? Because there's 8 subscribers gave me thumbs down. It must be the ghostly trolls. I do have a troll problem. I need to get a troll spray.
All right, if it 8 thumbs, but tonight on here.
Yes, no, on here, which is odd.
Since we started.
Yes.
In the last 15 minutes.
In the last 15 minutes. I know.
I shaped today as well.
I know.
No,
but you know something?
You're
still helping share my channel, you know. But that's you go, guys. You get trolls. Troll spray. I'm going to invent it and patent it. You know.
I think you get trolls everywhere, but you know, getting your thumbs down is not so good. It's definitely not so good.
It means I'm doing well. Thank you, Oracles and Beyond. Oracles and Beyond, would you like to come on and talk about mediumship and that? I can post a link, no bother now. See this? All you need to do is hold my finger here. Oh, touchscreen technology. Yeah.
There you go, there's a link shared. You know, if you're going to claim to be a medium, then don't fake it. There's too much out there. You see on these TV shows, and, you know, and they invent noises and they invent all sorts, and they're lying to themselves, but more important, they're lying to people that actually take the time to watch.
Welcome, Luna. Luna is
Hey, Luna.
Hi.
That's a very nice picture you've got there. What is that? Is that like a Santa Monica kind of thing? Is that
it's like a skull head?
Like a Day of the Dead kind of thing?
We was messing around one night, putting skulls up, and I picked that one.
That's really nice. That's a kind of like Mexican Day of the Dead kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of does, yeah. I just woke up not too long ago, so I'm not quite awake yet, but okay.
It's late here at night. It's 10 to 10 at night here. So
yeah, it's kind of looks that way, doesn't it?
Scott, I was going to say to Scott, let him finish what you're saying. Then I was going to ask you, Luna, after Scott's finished, how did you become a medium? How did you become? When you go?
I first started way back years and years ago. About 25 plus years ago, it was, you know, I'd know things like, say, as I said before, a landline would ring, and because back then we didn't have mobile phones, landline would ring, and I would know who was phoning before they picked it up. You know, before whoever picked it up, I could tell people were going to say something before they said it. I knew exactly what they were going to say. So wee things like that. I would meet people just for the first time, and within about 5 minutes, I could tell you exactly what that person was like, inside out, basically. And sometimes you take an instant dislike to them, you know, for no reason, but it's just the way I felt, basically. So this went on for 2, maybe 3 years, and then I started going to the just wee local spiritualist churches in Glasgow, and went to there's a big one in Glasgow, the main sort of head one in Glasgow. I started going there. It was every Sunday night, and you could go along. It started at 7 o'clock, but you could go in at 6 and sit and have a cup of tea or coffee and just chat to people. So I started going every week and just sitting down, and it's amazing how much you can just pick up just by sitting, chatting away to people. the thing that really got me was one Thursday night I went to a totally random church, never been before. It was a different town, nobody knew me. I went myself. I never told anybody I was going. And this medium came on. She was a lady, maybe in her 50s, and she told me that I had a daughter in the spirit world. She told me about an ex-girlfriend of mine that passed over, gave me every detail. She told me about my dad, told me about my gran, with detail, things that nobody could know. And then she says, you're studying something, you've got a gift, and you keep finding books on it. Well, back then I'd went to the library, and the girl said, I've only got one book on spiritualism. So I took it home, read it, took it back. Then I found another. And this happened about 5-6 times. Every time I went back, I kept finding a different book. So this is what the medium says. You keep finding books on it. Your dad's telling you to study and keep pushing forward with it because you have got a gift. And it was after that I started to get, hi Bexy. It was after that I started to pick up more, because I think I opened up more to it then. Before I just accepted it as, you know, everyday thing. I just kind of shrugged it off. But then I started to open up more to it, and I started to see, you know, like pick up names, the odd name here and there. I started to kind of see images in my head of things that, you know, in the past buildings, in the past places. I could sense people beside me, or if they're coming towards me. I couldn't see them as in physically, as you see a person walking down the street. It was all mental pictures. I knew they were there, if that makes sense. So that, and it just carried on from there. And so that's basically, you know, my story.
So, Luna, what's your story? Luna, how did you become a medium?
Oh, God. I really don't know how I come into it. I just know that, I guess my first experience, I was really young when I realized that I could see things or hear things, but I didn't really start hearing spirits until I was a little older than that. I really don't know. I'm kind of I didn't really start using any of it until this year. I've known for a long time, but I never really done anything with it until this year. I mean, I've done a little bit, but nothing like I have been.
I noticed you the other night on, was it Now It's Dark's live stream? You picked up, does he get like a spirit in his house?
Yes.
And you says to him, what's that device called? The one that flashes? What's it called?
Necrophonics. He used the necrophonics. You talking about Now It's Dark's house?
Aye.
Yeah.
And you says it's up in the corner, and they put it up in the corner, and actually you see it lighting up.
Yeah.
Can you see spirits, or do you just sense that they're there?
I sometimes see them. Most of the time, I can sense them there, or I just know they're there. I don't know how I get the feeling that they're just there, and like in my house, I always know when there's a new one, and they've been seeming to pop in a lot lately. So I mean, it's like I'm kind of like a magnet for them, I guess. They just show up, and
it must be terrible when you go to a graveyard. Then,
actually, I get peaceful in a graveyard. Really? I don't know why that's that way, but it happens. I mean, I feel at peace at a graveyard. I don't know why, because there's a lot of spirits there, but I think that's probably the most peaceful place for one of us to be. I don't know. I don't know how Scott is, but it is for me. It's a peaceful place to be.
Yeah, I'm the same, Luna. It's as I said before, I've been to Greyfriars many times, and sometimes I just sit. There's benches round about in different places, and just sit. And I've seen me sitting 2-3 hours, maybe and you don't realise how long you've sat, but it is very peaceful. A lot of people have the image you get into a graveyard, it's all spooky and scary, but no, I'm the total opposite. Absolutely. You do, as you say, Luna, you know the spirits are there. Like the Grey Friars, you can sense them. They're all around the place. But
Oh yeah.
you feel at peace. You know,
When I
you
do a
don't feel.
screenshot for somebody, I don't take the shot unless I feel like there's something there. And I've caught numerous things in shots. Because I feel it whenever I take that shot. I mean, I won't, like Chris, you're not going to want to hear this, but your house is more active than you think.
No, I know. I can tell you a story about my house.
I know it kind of freaks you out, doesn't it?
No.
It don't?
No,
okay,
because
good.
I've lived here for nearly 30 years, right? And I know anything here, it's never hurt me. You know what I mean? In fact, I quite like them, whoever they are. I know that's except it's as if they're company.
You got an older gentleman that always stands over your shoulder whenever you're on, and he watches you. He watches the show.
It's weird you should say that, because Scott's got a grin here, haven't you? Because I've told him the story. This is what happened, right? I'll tell you what happened. The front room of the house, I'm in the back room of the house, but anyway, the front room of the house, there was always reported there was an old man with a top hat, right?
Yep.
And of course, people were getting kind of scared, you know, but me being the way I am, because I'm into supernatural, I went in and I says, listen, I'm sorry, but you have to go. I'm sorry. And I said the Lord's Prayers, right? But I never thought anything about it. Went to my bed. I woke up at 3 a.m. exactly the next morning with this face in my face, and it says to me, see you, I have to leave this house because of you. And then I turned my lamp on and there was nothing there. So I take it it's still in here, aye?
Yeah, he's still there. He's still there.
Who is he?
He's just gotten used to you being there. He's gotten used. He's just used to all of it now. But he's still there. He can go away. He may go away for a little bit, but he comes right back. It's like.
Is he from the house? Like, is he
what?
Is he from this house? Because I know the people who lived in it before me.
I think it's more the property.
Well,
your house is old though.
Possibly the land.
It's about 100 years old.
I think it's the property that it's on. I think he's older than the house.
Well, what is he, a nice guy?
Yeah, he's a little rough around the edges, but I've never seen him do anything that would mean that would be not nice.
So he likes to watch things like this, does he?
He likes to watch over your shoulder, and he thinks it's amazing that electronics, he's not used to that, you know, but
see, the house that I'm in, there was a family in here before me long ago. I'm talking like the 1970s, and the guy had just passed his driving test. The story goes, and him, his wife, his 2 boys, and another guy, I can't remember, somebody else, and they went out for a drive, and he pulled out at a junction in front of an 18-wheeler, and all of them got killed. And they lived in this house. And I don't know, I always had the sense that there's kids sometimes. I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. What do you think?
I think he's just the one male, and he's sort of going out, he's content but fascinated.
He's the only one up there.
He's what?
He's the only one I've picked up there. Now, as far as the family goes, I don't think they're there.
No.
They're with another family member.
It's weird you should say that. Again, this is weird, by the way, you telling me this, but when we first got this house, I was like 7 years old. And I've got an older brother, he's nearly 50 now, and he says he says to my mum and dad that night we got the house, he says, Ken, I was walking past the house. Now, to bear this in mind, he would be about, I don't know, he'd been his early 18-year-old. And he said, I'm sure I seen an old man looking out of the window. And and never, we've no seen anything again ever that. I've always thought there was something, but he's never done me no harm, so I'm not afraid of him.
Won't. He likes you, actually.
Does he?
He just wanted you to know that he was there that night that he done that. I think it was because you feel more than you really think you do. You know more than what you say you do. You just don't open up to it
Okay. I stayed with my parents, I'll admit that. And
I think you are slowly doing it.
When my parents go away like abroad and stuff like that, Ken, my dog, I've got a collie dog, and she keeps going into that room and barking. Can dogs pick up?
Oh yeah, yeah. Your animals, any animals can pick up.
She sits and looks at the corner list, and just sits there and wags her tail.
Yeah. Yeah, she'll know when they come in the room. She'll know where they're at in the house. I mean,
If you see a dog sitting, staring, or cat or any animal sitting, staring at one particular spot, you know what to do? Put your hand in front of their face and see if they look round it and look back at that spot.
That's what I'll maybe try. I mean,
what do you think, Luna?
Do what now? What'd you say? If it's in one spot and it's staring in one spot, is that what you're saying?
If the dog's sitting staring at one particular spot, then for Christy, he put his hand in front of his face and see if the dog looks round his hand back at that spot. I guarantee you'll look round your hand back at that spot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because it's picking his spirit is what it's doing.
Would you say that the spirit, my friend, is spirit, because he's never done me any harm? He probably sits and watches me.
Yes, he's used to being there. He's used to. You've been there for half your life, so yeah, he's if he was going to harm you, he'd have done it.
I take it he visits different houses because my house is conjoined with another house.
He does what?
Does he go to next door? Because my house has got another house joined onto it.
I would say possibly not. If he's grown fond of you, he's attached to you, then he'll stick to you.
Even if he did go over there, I mean, do I think they have anything in theirs? Yeah, I do. But it's not him. He stays in yours. They've got a female. They have a female in theirs, and I believe a child.
That's rings true because I know some deaths. The person next door that used to live to me a long time ago was an old woman. She lived there herself. She was kind of strange. And then she died and the people next door got it.
I think she's still there.
Well, she didn't like the neighbours.
Just saying, I think she's still there. Whether they know she's there or not, I think she's still there.
Well, all right then, here's one for you. And I do know this. There's a house to my left, but it's not attached to my house. But it's the same type of house. Would you say there's anything there?
I don't know.
Because the neighbours
not that I can feel right now, but
the neighbours told
me doesn't mean anything.
they're kind of scared because every time they go up the stairs, they see a man standing, an old man. It might be the same one.
It's not the same as yours.
No,
it's possible.
Here's where you're at, where he's at. If he goes anywhere, he'll go into like to town or something like that. I mean, he goes. He may wander around, but he comes back. He considers that his home.
Oh well.
Along with you, he shares it with you.
I've always wondered, what do spirits do all day?
And he's shaking his head yes as we speak.
What do they actually do? Did they just like float about or something like that?
Do what?
What do spirits do all day? Do they just like float about?
Well,
I mean, we go to our beds and we have our dinner and we have our breakfast, and then we go to bed.
See them when they come to me and like I see an image in my head. It's like playing an old movie. It's like sometimes they're standing up straight on the ground, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes I can't pick that up. So to be complete, unless they tell me exactly how tall they are, I have to estimate it. And usually I'm really close. But
well, I will say this:
I'm never 100%. I can tell you that. I never want to know anything ahead of time. I never want anybody to feed me information. I want to tell somebody. I don't want that way. Then, if I get it right, I get it right. And there's times that I haven't got it right. I'm not going to say that I'm perfect.
I will say that if he likes technology and stuff like that, I mean, when I'm not on YouTube, I play the Xbox. I mean, I fly through interstellar space. When space games, he must find that fascinating then.
They do. It's like they don't understand electronics. The older ones don't. The ones that's passed many years ago. They're fascinated with it. They like watching it.
It's all new to them. It's fascinating.
We'll do this. If you can see him now, and if he's standing there now, well, I don't care. But he's welcome because he's never done us any harm.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think he knows that he's welcome. I think there's a kind of mutual respect between the two of you, if that makes sense. What do you think, Luna?
It's as if he knows this is my space.
And he respects that. And you still know he's there, where it be in the back of your mind, wherever he still acknowledges that he's there, and I get that he's happy with that. And he just likes, as Luna says, watching you and what you're doing with your gadgets and stuff like that. So, I mean, I totally agree with Luna. He's happy to be. He's content there. He's happy.
Yeah, he's content. Yeah. If he wasn't content, you'd know it. Well, you would. I mean, I'm not saying he'd be mean to you, but he would move stuff or he would do stuff to really irritate you, to let you know, look.
Does he kind of look after us? Does he look after the house when we're not here?
Yes. He considers the house his too, but he respects the fact that he has passed. He knows that he has passed, and he knows that it's your house now, but he respects that, but he still feels like that's home.
See, I do know that there was an old man that lived here that died, but he didn't die in the house. He died in the hospital next to me.
No, this guy he's from the property.
See, the house itself is only like 96 years old, but the property.
Yeah, I think his house or his dwelling was there, and they tore it down.
It's maybe that, because behind me there's a farm, and there was other wee houses round about it, and they pulled them all down.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
What I'm getting is that his house was there, they tore it down, and when they built the new ones, they built that one in the spot where his was at, or really close to the spot where his was at. And he has taken it upon himself to be there because they took his house.
Nah, it's terrible.
So,
but you would wonder that. I mean, I know this is saying this, and it's kind of difficult. But if I had to die, right? If I had to go to my bed tonight and drop dead, right? I wouldn't probably stay here. I'd probably go into the light. Because I know that it's.
But you can come back, though, Chris. You can go through that light, but you still get to come back. Really? It's not like like you go there and stay there. You can stay there if you want to. but you can come back to visit. It's not like how do I put this? It's not like
it's not like you're going in the door and locking it behind you and throwing away the key.
Right. It's not like that. You can go through the light, and you can meet other people, and and people that's there and stuff. But you come and go. It's not like God doesn't have a lock and key on you after you.
So you can come back and you can basically do what you want.
Spirit can travel. You can travel anywhere you want to travel. It's like you can blink your eyes and be somewhere else. I mean, it's kind of like this. How do I put this? It's like they ride the waves. It's the energy waves, the ley lines, there's
no boundaries.
There's a whole spectrum of that,
So you can basically go anywhere you want.
Right.
When my time comes, I'm off to Graceland. I mean, I'm going to visit Graceland when my time comes.
When my time comes, I'm off to the Uncle Joe's Mint Ball Factory.
Okay. No.
It's a candy factory.
Not the night, but as long as the spirit can come back, it's like best way to describe it, I would say, as a swing door.
Aye.
I know that might sound ludicrous, but
so
some people are scared to go through that light. Some people you have to help them. I've helped several. Recently.
Well, I'll not mention any names, but Scott picked up in one in my village, but we'll not mention any names because his family's still alive.
Right.
And I feel so sorry for the guy. I mean, how do you help them cross? Yeah, I don't think he did. Scott, do you think he knows he's dead? Or do you think he knows?
He knows he's passed over. But as I said before, very, very confused, very hurt. He's worried about his family. Any family members that might still be in the area. He's worried about them, about the way that he went, kind of thing. There's a lot of things. He's very, very mixed up, and I go that he's weary of getting into the light because he feels, in a way, he'd be letting his family down. He doesn't want to let go.
I mean, Scott told me how he died, and I was shocked because I know people that told me how he died. And it was exactly. I mean, to die like that would be.
I was obviously I'm not going to get any detail, but it was a horrible feeling. So, no doubt, I was picking up what he felt, but no doubt what he felt was, maybe 10, 20 times greater than what I felt kind of bad, for want of a better word, But I think there's a lot of things going round and round with him, and he's confused, he's mixed up, he's sad, he's worried, and that's why he doesn't want to take that step and go through the light. If that makes sense to you, Luna. Just simply because of the way that he went.
Mm-hmm.
This is the main reason, because of what happened to him.
Sometimes I feel how they've passed, and sometimes I pick that up. Chasing Bones and Specters is in your chat. Is Danny? Hi, Danny. Danny is a medium himself. He's a shaman.
He's welcome to come in.
He's a very well-known shaman. He's very well liked in the community.
Come join us, my friend.
Hi, Shrimp Shack. I've learned a lot from
you. Hey, Shrimp, man. Are you welcome to join us, Chasing Bones?
When I didn't open up, when I was having trouble opening up, Danny's spirit guide, which is Astro, hi Astro, helped me open up and opened me up quick.
How do you know who's your spirit guide? Do I have one?
Yeah, everybody has a spirit guide. You have one.
Is that a man or a woman?
That's for you to find out. I can tell you.
Hey, but how do you find it? Because I'm no like you, so I can't use my powers.
Danny, they asked you if you wanted to come up. It's up to you if you feel like it.
I mean, how do you ken if it is a man or a woman? Can you tell me?
It's something you just.
So as I can thank them.
It's something you just know. It's hard to
Here's a
describe.
question. I've always wanted to go to a professional medium because when my grandmother died, I was broken-hearted. I mean, I was awfully close to my grandmother, right? But this is my mother's mother.
I have a man and woman that is my spirit guides. It's my aunt and uncle. And they are my spirit guide for now. I also have a little dog that was my dog that I adored. And
I've had a few. I've had 4 collies in
my life. Right, Danny. Anyway, you know.
But what I was saying about
these guys, by the way.
Would you say that any of my relatives ever visit?
Do what?
Do any of my relatives, like my grandmother, does she ever visit?
Oh yeah. You have family that visits you. I one night, but I know they don't stay there. So I know the man stays there. But yes, they come to visit you.
I'm sure. I'm 90% sure. My grandmother's visited me in sleep. I mean, I've just felt things.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I said, you feel more than you say. Mm-hmm. So I know that. Hi, Danny.
Hey, Danny. Hello.
Chris is the one above you, and the other one is Scott.
Hey, Danny. Good to have you here.
Good to see you.
It's nice to meet you, Danny.
I'm just tending to a 4-year-old now. That's why I'm kind of moving about. But just in case you thought why I was wandering about, you know. Sorry, folks.
Danny, tell him about yourself.
I've been working with the paranormal, not an investigator, but working with the paranormal for 51 years.
Wow.
I work with the diocese. I work with the shaman or shaman, depends on where you're from, and also nature grid. I have that's my job, you know. I sometimes gotta go bless Holy Land or do an exorcism, that type of thing. But for fun, I started doing paranormal investigations, and it's weird that I keep doing that. But it does relieve my stress because when I go somewhere and I run into something bad, I just go, not my rocket launcher, and I get to leave. So I don't have to worry about it, right? So the paranormal investigating for me is a good way to blow off steam after a hard week.
Aye. That's... See how you said you do exorcisms? Is that like for like demons and stuff like that?
Yeah, but normally they're twisted humans. There isn't really as many demon possessions as people think. Usually it's a human that's been gone for so long, he's lost his humanity.
Yeah.
You know, but he still has greed. He still has his own freedom of choice, the things he wants to do, which in a way makes those harder than fighting a demon, because a demon has got a plan A to a plan B. It's going to go a straight line. It's got a plan what it wants to accomplish, so it'll just,
you know, so you can destroy people's lives. That's so
you can kind of track what it's going to do and be ahead of it, right? But with Twisted Human, it'll make you think it's going from A to B, but then at the last second it changes to C, right? Like it'll go after something else, because they still have that inspiration to succeed, whereas a demon is kind of following orders, right?
Yeah.
And so like the twisted humans are a lot of times they're worse, and they can do just as much. I mean, they can do just as much damage. Because
I've always wondered, because you've got like mass murderers that have been like killed, like sentenced to death and obviously executed. Do they cross, or do they become like a demon?
A lot of them become twisted humans. A lot of them. This is just my opinion. This is not written in stone. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of evil ones that die become twisted human eventually. Okay. Some of them actually end up going to the elementals or going somewhere else where it's kind of like purgatory. They got to work their ass off in order to get back in the good books, right?
Yeah.
And then there's some that just they're done, dusted. So
they're that evil.
Yeah. So but see, people don't realize a human soul can be twisted into a demon. That's where demons came from in the first place. They were twisted souls of angels and humans, right?
Because a demon is not meant to be like fallen angels,
right?
From
depending on your belief system, the head demon was an angel. So depending on what you believe, right?
There was a battle in heaven. I see myself more as like a spiritualist, but there was more like a battle in heaven, and they lost, and basically God sent them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what I believe too, but I don't really tell people what to believe or anything. I have absolutely no problem with anyone's beliefs. Whatever a person believes is fine by me, because that in itself, that in itself is freedom of choice, right? And we all have that. So whatever someone believes is no sweat off me. I'll never judge them for it or not be friends with them just because they believe in something that I don't. I don't give a crap what they believe.
Yeah.
I don't care about your sex life. I don't care about your orientation. I don't care if you're black, white, blue, purple, rich, broke.
Yeah.
That's just icing on the cake, right? For me, if you got a good heart and you try to do good, you're in my good books. Simple as.
We love Danny. I love Danny. I think he's a great guy. I have very, very, very strong respect for him. He has helped many, many people. He's helped me through my time of not knowing which way I wanted to go and how to open up again and how to be the person that I'm meant to be. Yeah. The elementals has pretty much picked me out and said, this is the way it's going to be. And you're going to be this person. It's what you're meant to do. And he basically has showed that to me, and between him and Astro.
Well, I must admit, since I've been getting into the paranormal, I mean, I don't know what it is, but I seem to be more awake. I see things. Again, this is going to sound stupid to folk, but I can see like orbs and stuff like that sometimes. It's like as if I'm more awake. If you know what I'm trying to say. Because
you've opened yourself up, basically. You've opened yourself. As I say, we're all psychic, and, some lose it during their lifetime, some don't. But I think, see, once you start studying the paranormal and, you open that, sometimes people don't realise they're doing it. They've got this barrier up like a brick wall, and they just, they won't get near it. But as you see, once you start getting into it, reading about it and talking, studying, whatever you're doing, then you're basically bringing that wall down.
Yeah.
And you're opening up more to what's actually there that you couldn't see before, because that wall was in your way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And not only that, when you start studying the paranormal and actually looking into it and start asking questions, the spirits realize that, right? So they're going to come and try to help you understand, because most spirits, 90% of the spirits out there are wonderful people, just like you and me, okay? And that's what I always say, like, treat the spirits the way you want to be treated, because they're people too, right? They're just people.
Exactly.
Like
I've always
90%.
said that. Sorry, Danny.
Well, 90% of them were just people too. So just treat them with respect. I mean, like people say, "Oh, a demon attacked me, demon attack." Well, I'll tell you what. If someone came in my house and said, "I want you to dance, now twirl around, make this noise, make that noise, do this, do that," I'd be sitting there and I'd go, "Really?" I'd get up and I'd knock really loud 3 times on the wall. "Oh no, it's a demon sign." And then I'd walk over with 3 fingers and I'd scratch them so they'd run out of my house. I'd say, "Good, get lost, sit down on my ghost sofa, watch my ghost TV and drink a ghost beer. Say, okay, that was a good day." See you.
Luna told me tonight about my housemate that we've had for a long time. But I've always known he was a nice person. Luna, do you want to tell him?
Hey, Beth, how you doing, sweetie? Hi, Nicole. Hey, Scottish. Look.
Hi, Beth.
Hi, Beth. Scottish. I like that name, Scottish Outlook. That's a brilliant name, that.
That is a good name. I was going to say, look, when you go Scott, and then I'll tell them.
I've always, my conception of spirit is that we're the exact same when we pass over as we're here, except without a physical body. That's the only difference. So, if you take the love, you take your good nature, you take all your, you take everything with you, except your body, basically. And you do, if you respect the spirits, they'll respect you. That's why I've always believed. I mean, in my old flat, I had a guy. It was a previous tenant, and he used to move things. I'll try to cut it down short. I'm a creature of habit, and I used to place my remote control every night on front of the TV before I went to bed. Every night. One time I went to get the TV remote and it wasn't there. I found it in the bedroom underneath my double bed. Now I lived myself. So that's where I found the remote.
Yeah.
And then another time I always put my keys in the door. Even if I'm getting out of the house for 10 minutes and I know I'm getting back out, I still put my keys in the door and turn it a quarter turn to the left. It's a thing I do. One morning I got up to go to work and the keys weren't in the door. They were sitting on the coffee table. He used to move. I've got quite a few Buddhas, and I was quite particular about how they were all positioned. It might sound weird, and I would come home from work and I would notice that a Buddha had been moved. And as I say, I love myself. And then one night I was sitting watching the TV. It was a Saturday night. I'll never forget it. And I had a wee galley kitchen, so my living room looked on to the kitchen, and the bin lid flew off. Now, the bin was only about half full. The bin lid just flew off, and I lost it, and I gave him into trouble. I said, well, I'm trying to watch the TV, so stop playing about my bin lid and stop moving my Buddhas. And I never did any bother after that. My Buddhas never moved. He was still there. But, so what I'm trying to say is we're the same here over there as we're here. And, spirits, you treat them with respect, they'll treat you with respect. And you just talk to them normal. You don't just talk to them every day. And that's why I say if people feel they've got a presence in their house or they feel like their aunt or their mum's still hanging about, then talk to them. Even if you're alone in the house, just talk to them. Tell them about your everyday stuff.
I do it. Right, I go up to my local cemetery to look after my family's graves, right? And I'm terrible for it. I'll be picking up and then I'll start talking away. I'll be like, who has left all this rubbish? They'll be like crisp packets and cans, and I'll just start talking away as if they're all there. You know what I'm saying?
That's what they want. I used to come out. Before I left for work, I used to say goodbye to my cheerio, as we say in Scotland. I used to cheerio him. And then when I came in at night, I used to say good evening or whatever it was. Say, the day work sucked. And you see if anybody the outside could see in the windows, you think I was just talking to myself. But I used to say, day and work, this customer came in, but they're wanting knowledge. They're wanting you to know that they're there.
That's
You
all.
know,
Yeah.
they don't mean you any harm. They're like a child. You know, that's the problem with kids. Kids love attention. And spirit was,
Yeah,
you know,
a lot of times it's
that's
just,
marvelous.
yeah, that's it. A lot of times they just want to be known. They just want to be remembered. They just want someone to say, okay, you're here. Okay, fine. You know. And once you recognize that, a lot of times they settle right down. So
Yeah. Well,
Exactly, Danny. Exactly.
as I was saying earlier, Luna told me about my house guest, didn't you, Luna?
Yes.
I've always known there was something in my house. I'll admit that. And my family have always known there was and then I told them the story about how I told it to get out of the house. It was an old man with a cane and a hat. And I shouldn't have done that because he came to me about 3 o'clock in the morning and he told me, he says, see you. He says, and he wasn't happy. But then Luna told me he's actually here and he's actually happy to be here and he's standing behind me. But otherwise he's fine.
That's it. They're just, it sounds silly, you know, the spirit, but they're human. As Danny says, they were human beings. So, you know, they had a life, they had their own story to tell, you know, their ups and downs, and the same as everybody else has.
Yeah.
And they stay the same, you know.
Well, if he's here the new, I'm just going to say it. He's welcome because he's never done me any harm. He's never done the family any harm. You know what I'm saying? I've been here for 30 odd years, nearly 34 years in this house, and he's done no one any harm. And he's welcome to stay forever if he wants.
Yeah, there's no reason why he should move on. I mean, if he's happy, we're happy.
He's happy.
I got lots of spirits in my house. They don't bother me. I don't bother them unless they want something. Then they'll pain in the ass. But otherwise,
Danny's house is like Grand Central Station, literally.
My God.
Well, I got 2 ley lines that run under my house, ley lines, and I got a time line that goes through my ceiling. So, like I can sit here at night. You can sit here at night and you can watch a stream of orbs, just orbs. You know, could be dust, whatever, but they're not. But anyway, it's like a stream. You know, if you had a hose, if you had a clear hose and you threw a whole bunch of marbles down the hose, that's what it looks like going across my ceiling all the time.
So it's quite a busy house then.
It's a very busy house.
He's got a very busy house. He has a room full of haunted objects that he has made into his office. It is great.
Wow.
Love it.
I mean, there's that guy, what you call him, Zach Bagans. He collects things like that, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, I didn't collect anything. They're all dropped off at my door with a note.
Say they're like, here, you can have this item because we know there's something with it. They send stuff to him. People literally send him stuff.
They say, yeah.
Cool.
Like I had inherited Jenny, which was wonderful. Jenny's the original fire starter. She starts buildings on fire. So I ended up getting her, but she's been behaving since she's been here because I told her if she behaves, you know, I'll talk to her every day and I'll, you know, associate with her. But if she's going to be a bitch, I'm going to turn her around so she's facing the wall 24/7. So I said, it's your choice. Do you want to be able to see out or, you know, whatever? And she's actually been very nice. And she's been here for about a month now and she hasn't caused no trouble. Once in a while, you hear the glass. She's in a glass case, and once in a while, she'll bang on the glass if she wants.
That would freak me out.
You know, well, when you talk to her, her earrings move. You know, if it's a yes, this side moves, and if it's a no, this earring moves. And it's really weird. Like it's one side or the other that moves, and yeah. So, well, I bought her a new dress to appease her. I said, "Here's a nice new dress," because the other one smelled like smoke. And but yeah, she's all right. And then I got some evil chains, and I got an evil knife, and I got, you know, like a lot of better stuff. But what happened is, you know, 51 years doing this work, you know, I've come home and there's a box sitting on my front door, right? And written on the box was, "Please take this. I can't have it in my house. It's terrible," right? And I'm thinking, okay, whatever. So I pick up the box, open it up. There's a friggin' skull in there. I'm like,
Oh my
dude,
God.
what the hell is this? Right? No name, no nothing, no number, no nothing, Anyway, so I had to take it to the university, and the university said it was an old native. Well, apparently, after tracing everything down and everything else, somebody went to one of these burial grounds and dug this guy up and stood him up on a fence and took pot shots at him and shot him all full of holes like the bones, eh? And the only thing that survived without getting it, except for one hole in the head, I guess the guy shot through the eye, the skull, and took out a piece of the back of the head. That's all that was left of this thing. And then they're wondering why it's pissed off at them.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird you should say that. It's weird you could say that. I've just got to say one thing. Lunar, can you share the link for me for Danny's channel?
I did. I put it in there, but I'll share it again, yes.
Thank you. Second thing is, Scott investigates a very haunted graveyard in Edinburgh. What was the story you told us, Scott, about the guy, the kids that stole the guy's skull?
The skull. Darren, you're probably familiar with Greyfriars Kirk in Edinburgh.
That's right, Nicole. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up. Apparently people were saying stuff and I wasn't really paying attention. My bad.
Nicole says, don't worry, Scott, I do that too. Makes people wonder all the time. It does make people wonder because you think you're just talking to your bed or your cupboard or something, and they don't realise it.
Well, if people walk past me when I'm in the graveyard, they'll think I'm a raving lunatic.
Well, I was walking down the street one day and I was talking to the guy, right? And he was as solid as you and me as far as I was concerned. I was talking to this guy, and then I noticed that he had this purple light, like a rod that went right through him. So I knew he was a spirit at that point, right? But I'm talking to him, and basically he was working on the train, and the train backed up and hit him and killed him, right? So I'm walking along talking to this guy, and this other guy walks by and says, "Are you talking to yourself?" I said, "Yep." He looks at me and he starts laughing. He goes, "Why are you talking to yourself?" I said, "Well, sometimes I like to have an intelligent conversation."
Oh my God, that's a good one. But as I was saying, Scott investigates, is it Greyfriars? And someone stole a certain head.
Oh, the Friar skull, yeah.
Wait till Scott tells you this. This is terrible what they did to the poor person. There you
go. Tomb of George Mackenzie. I don't know if you're familiar with George Mackenzie was, or as he became known, Bloody Mackenzie. It was two teenage boys broke into. Well, prior to that, a homeless man had broke into it in 1998, and I think this is what started the disturbances off. Because up until then, there's been nothing happened. But after this homeless man broke in, he had an encounter down in the crypt. So, but two teenage boys, I think early teenage boys, broke into the crypt and they opened up one of the coffins and they took. Now, some reports say that it was the actual coffin of George Mackenzie himself. Other reports say somebody else. So they took the skull and they were in the graveyard playing football with it. One of the tour guides who was doing a tour at the time noticed this and went over to them and pretended that she was fascinated by what they were doing, and she told them, if you wait there till I finish the tour, I'll come back and speak to you more. But she actually went away and phoned the police, so the police came and they arrested the two young boys. It was under an ancient law about breaking into a tomb or defacing a body, something like that. And after that, the activity ramped up again. But the skull was, was returned, and it was returned back into where it originally came from. So after that, as I say, the activity kind of ramped up again because it's total disrespect. So I think what you're saying about the guy taking pot shots, what have you, and I think I'd be peed off as well. If somebody did that to me.
Drew, the best way to know, in my opinion, whenever you get a doll, or you want to know if your doll is haunted or whatever, you know what? If you just look in its eyes, okay?
That's what I do.
This is always what I've done is I just look into its eyes, and if it pulls you in, trust your gut. Your gut's going to tell you if there's someone looking back at you.
Yep.
If it pulls you into the doll, then that sucker's haunted. No two ways about it. If you don't feel anything, then it's not. It's clear. Because a lot of people don't realize dolls were invented so that when spirits died, they had a place to go.
Yes.
When the dolls were, and that's why they used to use real hair of the child or real hair of the adult, is because when the person died, instead of going to the light, they can go and live in the doll. That's why they were invented in the first place. Dolls were actually crypts for spirits. And you'll know if there's one in there. Just look in its eyes, and if it pulls you in, there's definitely someone there. And if you feel nothing, then trust that.
What do you think of Annabelle?
I know Annabelle, and I don't really care for her very much.
Because it's not meant to be a human; it's meant to be a demon, isn't it? Is that?
Yeah.
Aye. I mean, the movies have made it famous, but the movies aren't totally true. The movies have been out.
Yeah, the movie is a bit exaggerated. Yeah. It is a bit exaggerated, but Annabelle is nasty, just like Jenny. Okay, and like there's a few of them, and the movies are going to make because they want ratings and they want money and they want people to come in, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, they're nasty. Don't kid yourself. I mean, they can cause death, they can cause fires, they can do whatever it just depends on how pissed off they get.
I think the movies and the media have got a lot of influence as well on how people perceive the paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people watch, like Annabelle or The Exorcist. One of the many, many horror films, and as Danny said, the movies, they're wanting ratings, they're wanting money in, and so a lot of people, I think, are influenced by movies, documentaries, and some of them are kind of bang on, but other ones, as Luna and Danny and yourself, Chris, are just way out there. There's nothing like reality at all. And so I think they've got a lot to answer for the movies. Shrimp Shack was saying that he's coming to Mary King's Close next year.
Oh, okay.
Well, when you come, Shrimp, drop us a wee comment, and we can meet up, because we're in Edinburgh quite a bit actually. So, do drop us a line and we can meet up with you. But no, Danny, I know what you mean about movies and everything. To me, I'm a horror movie fan. That's the thing. I like my horror movies, my blood and guts and stuff. But when you watch some of them, you think, oh no.
Aye, it's all hyped up. It is a lot of it's hyped up. But it doesn't help. It doesn't help because then you get the young kids that get into graveyards. They thinks it's okay to get into graveyards and play with the Ouija board.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then God knows who they contact, and then get an attachment. Then they take it home, and then they end up committing suicide because they've got an attachment.
Yeah. Hey, now.
Exactly. That's part of the reason we were going to do this investigation with Greyfriars and have, was it 15 we said, to go along, for people who are wanting to get in, want to see what paranormal is like, want to take that first step into it, to go with somebody who knows what they're doing, to go with, a medium, whatever, and see what it's really like, instead of sitting at home with their friends watching The Exorcist or something, the Ouija board, and then saying, right, let's go to Greyfriars for a night, or, let's go ghost hunting.
Yeah, well, I always tell the people, especially the new people, if you want to be an investigator, you know what? Go in the daytime. Because I'll tell you what, spirits don't give a rat's ass if it's daytime or nighttime. Spirits are always there. Okay? They don't need to sleep. Okay, they don't need to sleep. They're there 24/7. So go during the day and go to a graveyard and just do your spirit box, walk around, do your thing, learn your tools of your trade, go for half an hour at a time, sort of a thing. Collect your evidence, do that until you're comfortable with your tools and with everything you're doing,
Step by step.
This having to go in the dark is BS. I mean, there's no such thing as spirits giving a crap, You get just as much during the day as you do at night. I don't care what anyone says,
I think that's down to the horror films again as well, because horror films, everything's always worse at night time.
Yeah, it's all night. It's all nighttime. And I can't go to a theater to watch a movie because I've been doing this for so long. I've seen so much, right? Mm-hmm. I'll be sitting there and I'll watch Jason or something doing something, or this one Jason movie. He got hit by a car and then he got hit by a truck and he rode and he lied there and he was on the ground, not moving a muscle for about 4 minutes. Okay, and I love to joke around, so I went, Jason, get up. As soon as I said that, he sat up and everybody screamed in the theater, right? And of course, I broke out laughing. I mean, it's pretty hard for people to enjoy a scary movie when I'm in there. So, I try not to go too many,
I think Jason's had just about everything done to him under the sun.
It's the same as the Hellraiser movies and the what do you call it, the Amityville horror. How many? There was 3 Amityville horrors, weren't there? Then they brought out the new ones. I mean,
here's what worries me. Here's what really worries me. Okay, about all the paranormal investigators, not all of them, but a lot of them. They go into a place where it's supposed to be demonic activity, right? And then they challenge it.
Oh.
And then they'll get a scratch, or they'll get this, or they'll get that. And they think, oh, no, I was attacked by a demon. No, you weren't. Because if you were, he ain't going to stop there, okay? They're going to be with you forever, making your life miserable, okay? They play the long game. They don't play the short game, You're not going to get rid of them that easy, and I'll tell you what. They're going to find your life nothing but trouble.
How do you get rid of a bad spirit? How do you get? I've heard people saying sage and stuff like that. But
well, it depends. If it's just a human spirit, sage usually works. Sometimes a salt bath is needed. There's all different things you can do. Way too complicated to say in one sentence, though. Demon's a whole different story, though, right? And so is a twisted human. It's a whole different kettle of fish, If you get one of them attached to you, you're in big trouble. I mean, you got to get professional help right away because it's just going to get worse and worse and worse.
Like you can get possessions, don't you? It's like,
I have got thrown through walls, drywalls, and broke 2x4s going through the wall. I've been thrown out of a 3rd-story window. I've been thrown downstairs. I mean, they're not nice. Twisted humans and demons don't play games, okay? If one attacks you, you're going to end up hurt, really hurt, not some stupid little scratch. You're going to have broken bones, okay? And like I've been doing this a long, long time, and I've got a few broken bones over the ordeal, right?
Yeah.
So, like I'm saying, these are not things people should be playing with. It's just my opinion,
What do you think? What do you all think of the Ouija board? It's something that I would never touch. I don't care.
Well, for myself, I don't like the Ouija board. I won't play with it. But it's not because of what it is. It's because of what other people think it is. Okay, I have gone to at least 75 homes where the Ouija board was used incorrectly, got a negative attachment that was evil, and I had to fight for 3 days to get this thing out of their house. So I really don't have any care to be using one. However, saying that, a Ouija board is just like EVP, it's just like a spirit box, it's like any other tool you use for investigating. If when you go to use it, you say, okay, I'm opening up communication. This is for communication only. No portals may come and no attachments are allowed. Then you do your session. At the end of your session, say this session is now closed. Communication is cut off. No attachments are allowed. And close it properly. You'll never have a trouble with it. You know, as long as you believe what you're saying. You know, if you're saying it with conviction, and if you're saying it, you know, with your belief.
But then you get the stupid. But then you get the stupid folk, that young folk in particular, will take it into a graveyard. They'll not say that. They'll play about for a while.
What they do is they put the Ouija board down and they read the instructions on the box out loud, which has nothing to do with protecting you and the people using the board. Okay, it's just invoking spirits. So I mean, you gotta protect yourself and the people that you're with, right? So you want to say no possession, no attachments. This is for communication only, you know. And then when you close it, you say communication is now closed. Okay, all portals and doorways are closed, and we will talk to you some other time, sort of a thing, and close it. And if you do it properly, it's just a communication tool, right? And now for other people, it's just a game. In their head, it's just a game, and that's all it'll ever be because they have no faith in it. So nothing's ever going to happen, right? Because they don't have any belief in it, right?
Yes.
But if you're approaching it with the belief of communication, guess what? You're going to get
in contact.
Yeah.
You're going to meet. What's that?
I've never touched one myself, and I would just, I've never went near one in my life, and I don't intend to ever get near one.
I don't think we used to use them. I mean, if we can see them and hear them and communicate with them, why do we need the board to do that? So I've never.
Exactly, you're spot on. Why do we need the board or, you know, any other, you know? I'm not saying anything against gadgets or devices. I mean, as you all know, I'm kind of thick as mince in that department. I can work my phone and the telly, and that's me. I don't see, you know, a medium just knows that they're there instead of, you know, having to use a Ouija board or, you know, whatever. That's just my view, that we don't need gadgets and stuff.
I don't either. I mean, I don't feel like I use a spirit box and I use necrophonics, but it's not for me. It's for everybody else.
Do we use them when we're out just so people can hear?
Aye.
Because we do pick anything up, as you say, when it's just to, you know, let other people know, you know, if there is anything there or not.
I mean, I know they're there. I know when I have spirits here. I know when they come in and when they leave and stuff. And Danny thinks I can be more than what I am. He thinks I've got a lot more potential.
You do.
I'm working on it. It was hard for me to open back up. It was. It took a minute, and I kind of had to be shoved to do it and push towards it because when I shut off. Danny can tell you, and I have a tendency now to even still shut off somewhat. I think I don't realize I'm doing it, and I just kind of just shut down. And I think I don't know what's causing it, but I do. There's days that I just don't pick up anything.
Yeah, it's just your natural defense. When you get tired, it shuts off.
Right.
Drew, I agree with you to a certain extent. Bollywood and sage can annoy any spirit, but it boils down to faith and belief in what you're doing. I mean, that's where the true essence of the gift comes from. That's where the true power is. It's not so much in the Bollywood or the sage. It's in your belief system and in your faith. And it's your faith and your belief that gives it its strength, right? So the more you believe and the more faith you have in it, the stronger it's going to be. And you're right. You're absolutely right. No spirit is going to perform for YouTube, nor should they. No. If a spirit wants to interact with you, it should be because you're polite to them, you're treating them the way you wish to be treated. Or, you know, if you piss one off, it's going to interact. It doesn't give a shit about you two, you know.
I'm beginning to think the spirits talk on my afterlife box have I think they all got. I don't even know, man. For the last 3 or 4 times, they keep telling me I'm getting married in December, and I just laugh about it. And they just keep telling me over and over, you know, stuff about it, and I'm like, all right, whatever. So I started using necrophonics because I'm thinking my afterlife box is done a lot.
A lot of times when I'm doing a spirit box or a raptor box or I'm on an investigation, the spirits will say to me, TV? And I say, yes, I'm recording. Or video? Yes, I'm recording. Cinema? Yes, I'm recording, you know. And I let them know, yeah, I'm recording this. This is going to be seen by other people. So if you wish to be heard, you know, go ahead, but you don't have to, right? And they know what's going on. I mean, they're still smart people, you know what I mean? So they realize if you got a camera, they realize if you're recording them, you know, and if you're honest with them, if they say, are you recording? You say yes, they don't care. You know.
Danny, well, here's a question for you. What do you think it is? You know, as you know, there's loads of ghost shows out there, you know, UK and America and all over the world. But what do you think of these ghost shows where they're going to, you know, maybe an asylum, say, and they'll hear a noise and they'll run out the door, you know, they'll run away. You know, what do you think?
A lot of times, I just watch those with the intent of entertainment because that's all it is. I mean, yeah, every once in a while they get some good evidence, okay? Sometimes, you know damn well it's not right. You know, like you, especially anyone who has any sensitivity is going to know that, oh, this is bullshit, right? But I'll watch different ones and shake my head and laugh, you know, at some of the crap they do. Like, you hear a bang and you run. Well, excuse me, why are you there? You know, aren't you there to hear bangs and knocks? Why are you screaming? You know, like, so some of it, you know, I don't know.
Well, usually sometimes there's one in particular I'm going to mention it, but there's one in particular that I can't stand, but I watch it every now and again just for a laugh, basically.
You can mention it if you want. I'm not,
but I can't because there might be some of their fans on here, so I don't want to take the chance of offending anybody. But I like to watch it, kind of cheer myself up, if that makes sense. You know, just to give myself a laugh.
Yeah, some of them are ridiculous. I mean, I've seen some of them
stuff. And they give mediums such a bad name as well, I feel sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? I think
the show that you're talking about, I mean, I've seen them. They go into a room, they'll go into like an abandoned prison, and they go there to like deliberately get the ex-prisoners, and then as soon as like a ghost or a spirit makes a noise, they all start screaming and all run out. And I don't see the point in that. If you're like, oh, can you say anything? Can you make me a noise? And they make the noise back, you're going to go, like, oh, thank you very much for that. But instead, they all start screaming and run out.
Yeah.
It
doesn't make sense.
The other thing is, you seem to get something every time, and Lorna and Danny will know that's not the case. It's no. It doesn't work like that. As Lorna said earlier on, sometimes you pick up, sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
It's up to the spirit, really, whether you're going to pick up or not if they want to be noticed.
Yeah, I mean, even though one person can go to a place and have multiple experiences that are really good quality experiences. Next guy goes in there, gets nothing. Next guy gets nothing. The next guy gets a whole crap load of stuff. It just depends on how they're feeling that day. And it's not like they stay there 24/7. You know? Spirits can come and go as they please. So, like, they're not always going to be there, you know? Myself, a lot of times I don't get squat. But even that is proof. Because the time before I got lots of stuff, this time I got nothing. Next time I might get lots of stuff. That itself proves that, you know, they're on their own schedule, you know.
That's it. You go by their schedule, basically. You go by what they want, and that's all we can do. Sorry, Chris, carry on.
No, what I was going to say is it's amazing how they can travel, isn't it? It's amazing how a spirit can travel. What I'm saying is, like, I mean, it makes you wonder where they go.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes you wonder where they go. I mean, you think about it. Like my roommate, for instance, he's probably not here the he's probably away doing something, right? But we sleep and we eat and we do all these things, right, throughout our life. But obviously, when you're dead, you don't need to sleep, right? So you wonder what they do. Do they just like mop about all the time?
No, I think that's really seriously. I think that's what a real orb is. And I mean, there's a lot of fake orbs, but I believe a spirit can go into a circle, right?
Aye.
Because when you think about it, the circle of life and everything else, it's always a circle, right? The circle of healing, the circle of life, spirit circles, all that, everything's a circle. So I think in spirit form, you'll take a circle to travel so you can go out soup, because it won't take no energy. It won't take you no energy to be a little puff of circle.
Yeah.
So you can go at high speeds from Canada to Scotland in the blink of an eye. And then if you want to, you've still got energy that you can manifest. You know what I mean? If you want to. So I think it's just a travel form. I think whenever people see orbs, they're actually traveling from one spot to another. That's just my opinion. But to me, it's like, you know.
My way of thinking is that spirits have no concept of time as we do.
No,
you know, we live our lives by time, basically. You know, set times for doing this, going to work, getting up. Because that's physical. Well, spirits are physical, as we all know. So, you know, spirits don't turn and say, right, well, it's 3 o'clock, so we need to be in that graveyard just now. You know, there's no. I heard a saying years and years ago saying 1 second is like 100 years and 100 years is like 1 second.
Yeah.
Spirit, you know, there's no concept at all. See, we do. So we just imagine that spirit does, because it's the only way we know, because this is how, you know, we've been brought up. So we imagine spirits the same.
Because they say the afterlife's like a different reality, like quantum physics come into it and stuff like that, because it's different reality. There's no time. There's nothing.
Right. And like myself, I don't know. Like, I have my hunches of what happens and stuff, but heck, I don't know. I'm still learning every day, you know. I have no idea. You know, I have my guesses, but that's about it, you know. If I had the answers, I'd be dead. That's when I'll be, you know, a professional. That's when I'll
true.
be.
I mean, think about it.
Right.
I mean, think about it. Eventually, we're all going to die.
Right.
100 years, let's take 100 years, we're all dead.
You know?
We're all got to be wee boys floating about.
You know, eventually we'll have the answers, but our job, in my opinion, my job is to study and figure out what I can figure out before I get there. That's my job. You know, that's my calling. And you know,
a lot of people think mediums, you know, say mediums, well, when you die, is it big rose gardens or is there a heaven and what does it feel like? And you know, they think that we've got the answers, but nobody's got the answers. You know, mediums can only tell you what they get, you know, and as Danny says, the only way to get that real answer, what lies beyond, is to go there.
Yeah. You know? See, I believe that the afterlife is what you believe it is. Like, I think the spirit world takes care of its own. So if you believe in a heaven and that the bear will be led by the child and the lion will sleep with the lambs, and if that's your vision of heaven, that's what you're going to get, right? If you believe you're just going to stay a pile of dirt, guess what? That's what you're going to get. You know, if you believe you get to walk around the earth and hang out with people, that's what you're going to get. You know, I think the true essence of it is your body and your mind and your spirit. It's all energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It's forever, right? Energy itself never dies. So
It just
I think
goes
when you go
to
to your
another form.
afterlife, you still have your own mind. So where do you want to go? What do you want to do? That's going to be the question that I think your first question you're going to get is, where do you want to go?
Well, the first question I'm going to ask is why and how did it all begin? Think about it.
I think you could drive yourself, as I said, I think a few weeks ago in a live, you could drive yourself insane just trying to, think of all the answers. There's that many. You'd end up, as I said, you'd end up just running about dressed as a banana. You'd go nuts, You would. There's that many.
You're going to go to the afterlife and
questions
become a banana.
You become a Parma Violet.
I know.
No, but there's that many different questions and answers, and to sit and think and try and answer them is just impossible. You can know.
You'll know until it's your time.
Yeah.
That's it. That's when we'll get the big answer. The mediums can only say so much. We can only say what spirit tells us, and that's it. Basically, that's the bottom line. I can hear a chap in this.
There's a question for you, Danny, from Drew's Paranormal. What's the worst experience you've had, Danny?
Had a few. Well, one time I actually got grabbed on the shoulder by a demon and it burnt my shoulder. I still got the scar today.
Okay.
And had to go to the diocese to get it blessed before it stopped burning. So that was very inconvenient. But I guess one that I always remembered, not because so much of what happened, is what happened later. I got called to go down to this place on the street in town, an old apartment complex. And I was told, you got to get down here. We need your help. We need Astro's help, whatever. So I said, okay. So I went down there, and as I walked in the lobby, and it was up on the second floor or the third floor. I can't remember. Well, this is the second floor. Yeah, it was the second floor. Anyway, so I walk into the lobby, and it's ice cold. Like middle of summer, the lobby is ice cold. The doorknob was freezing in my hand. And I'm like, oh, shit, So I start going up the stairs. And as I'm going up, I put my hand on the railing. And as I'm going up, my hand's getting wet from the moisture that's on this railing. So I get up to the second floor. And as soon as I hit the second floor, my foot hit it. All the doors, there was 15 doors, 15 rooms. Every single door started going boom, 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 boom. The doorknobs were turning and the doors were kind of like, they weren't opening, but there's always that little space between the latch and the door frame. Well, all the doors were rattling like that, right? So I look at this one door at the end, which was 15, apartment 15. I look at the door and you can see the sweat coming off the door. So I knew that was the room, obviously, because the other ones didn't have that, right? So I opened the door, and one of the priests, as soon as this priest saw me, said, "This is your baby," and ran. Left me there. And the other pastor, he stayed there. But the one priest there, he took off. Well, there was a couple. Now, these two people were making deals and offerings and everything else because they wanted to be very powerful witches, It was a couple. So they killed their own cats and stuff. I mean, like, they were something else. Anyway, a few hours went by, and we're trying everything to release them. And then this girl who was maybe 96 pounds soaking wet picked me up and threw me through the kitchen, right through the wall of the kitchen into the bathroom. Right? And I thought my back was broken. I mean, it really, really hurt. Anyway, I come back, and at that point, Astro said, "Enough is enough," who's my spirit guide. Yeah. And he put his hand on her and pushed her down onto the bed, and she let out this wailing scream like you wouldn't believe. And then she starts looking around like she's lost. And then I walked over to where the guy was and did the same thing, which I don't really remember doing. I was told this is what happened. And same thing happened, you know. And then they were taken to Holy Ground. The couple were taken directly. The pastor took them to Holy Ground, and I left there. I never looked back. And that was the one time I was going to quit doing this job. Okay. I said to myself, I'm done. I'm done. You know, I try to help all these people who accidentally get things happening to them. I'm okay with that. But these idiots purposely did this to themselves, right?
Yes.
I'm so done with this shit. You know, and I was going to quit. I was so upset by it. And I was hurting too, by the way. Well, anyway, that's when I learned my biggest lesson in life. Okay. And I still, sorry, give me a sec. I still get teary-eyed when I think about it. These two people that I thought were garbage, okay? I thought they were the worst of humanity. I thought they were total garbage. Ever since then, and that's 20 years now, okay?
Yeah.
Ever since then, a week after they got out of being on Holy Ground, they opened up a soup kitchen for all the homeless and all the veterans, okay? Then they opened up a clothing thing and took donations of clothing for winter clothing, socks, toothbrushes, all that kind of stuff for the homeless and the veterans, right?
Yeah.
And they're still doing it today. And any time of the day, from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m., every single day, veterans can go there, pick out whatever clothes they want, and have 3 squares a day on them. And I said to myself, that's the last time. And see, this is where this comes from. That's the last time you will ever judge anybody. From that day forward, I don't judge. You know? Because, yeah, there might be darkness in people, but there's also a lot of light.
Yeah.
And if you give them a chance, that light is going to shine. And, yeah, so that was my most memorable one for both reasons, for terror and for, you know, knocking me on my ass going, oh, yeah, there's another side of the coin, you know?
I've got a question for you. What do demons look? What do they look like? Demons.
The most scariest thing you can imagine.
Really? So if you think of something, they can take that form.
Right. Like they're like why yeah, they won't come to me with a goat's head and horns or whatever because I just grab them by the horns and say, "Yeehaw, giddy up!" Right? Like I wouldn't sweat that, right? But they might look for me. They kind of look like a shadow with red eyes or something, you know, or they might look like, you know, just things that will scare you. So they're going to take the form that scare you as an individual the most. They know your fear, and that's what they're going to present as.
Simply, Alan is asked, do you all believe in reincarnation?
I don't have opinion either way on that. My brother, yes, my brother's right into that, you know, and talks about many lives and stuff. And my other brother's a UFO nut. Okay, it's all about the extraterrestrials, and my other one brother's all about reincarnation. I got enough shit on my plate than to worry about those. So I don't really put much thought into that because I've got way too much to do with just the dead that I don't really concern myself with what happens with the living if they come back, you know, or if there's an extra life form out there. Do I believe there's sentient beings? Of course I do. I mean, that's a mighty big waste of space if we're the only ones here. I mean, You know, you'd have to be pretty narcissistic to think that we're the only humans or the only intelligent life in the universe. You know, you have to be pretty narcissistic, right?
As the old saying goes, there's more what do you call it, star systems and Earths, and there's more, what do you call it, galaxies in the universe than there is sand particles on Earth.
Right. And I mean, to judge that.
Aye, exactly.
To judge that there's nothing out there, that's just ludicrous, you know, in my opinion. You know, but that's just my opinion. So I got to say, yeah, I believe in it. But do I spend any time giving it any credit? No. I can't afford to.
I believe we do. I believe in reincarnation. I mean, this is my opinion. What I think is, in life, some people are drawn to. I've got to talk about personal experience. I've always been drawn to Greyfriars for some reason, even before I started, you know, doing investigations. Any time I went to Edinburgh, I had to go to Greyfriars. I just felt pulled there. And I spoke to a couple of mediums, and one medium in particular says, it's because you have lived before. And she said my name was Jeff, she said. And she says, you were buried in Greyfriars, you lived in Edinburgh, and you were buried in Greyfriars, and this is why you're so pulled to that one location. So I do believe we can buy it. And as I say, sometimes in life, I don't know if anybody watching has happened to them, they felt drawn to a particular town or street, how, you know, a particular location. It's possible that in their past life,
oh yeah, I believe that.
This is where they lived, or, you know, they were very familiar with that particular area. So yeah, I believe we do come back again. How many times, I don't know if it's limitless or, you know, whatever. I have no idea, but I do believe that we can come back. We do come back at some point or another. I say that's my opinion.
Well, that's just weird. It's weird because I've always had enough of draw to like Alaska or Canada, and I don't know why. I just might go there, and I don't know why. When you go,
myself, I want to go back to Stonehaven, to be honest, but that's going to be a while.
In Scotland.
Yeah, I missed the fish and chips on the harbor.
Aberdeenshire.
Yeah.
I've been to Stonehaven a few times. So, it's a nice wee village right on the coast. Really nice. You can't beat the fish and chips.
That's it.
Drew's paranormal vlog. Danny, how can I tell her?
He told her once. I think she.
You stared at it. You better tell her again because I don't think she was there.
Well, that's a little bit of a different question. To tell if it's got a spirit in it, it's just look in its eyes, let it, if it pulls you in, and if you feel a spirit, it's there. An attachment, however, there could be a spirit with an attachment. Like, let's say it's a young girl that's attached to the doll in the first place, right? Well, one of her adults, a father or mother or somebody else, or something dark, could attach to her. Now, the best way to know if there's an attachment on her, if it's a human soul, salt's not going to bother them, right? So what you do, what I do is I stand the doll up on the stove or in the sink or whatever, and I take a bag of salt and I pour it over the doll, and I leave, but you got to put paper towel underneath her, okay, or him. You pour the salt on it, okay? You give it 3 shakes. You just shake the doll 3 times, okay? If it's still loaded with salt, you can bet there's a negative attachment there because the girl in the doll is holding the salt to her to keep it away from her. And if all the salt goes down, like it might be 1 or 2 grains here or there, whatever, like very little salt on her, then there's no attachment. But But if there's a lot of salt left on the doll, then there is an attachment.
That's interesting. Because salt gets rid of bad entities, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What a barrier is.
Well, it's because of the belief system that salt is life, right? Salt is the life of the planet. Right? Without salt, everything on this planet has salt, so it's a life force. Right? Mm-hmm. So anything dead that's negative does not want to have a life source attached to it, so it'll back off.
I must admit, every time I get fish and chips, and I put loads of salt in it, it's really bad for me. What's that, Scott? Sorry, there you go.
Chaos is saying you will keep coming back until you have fulfilled what you was put here for.
It was one.
That's true.
Answering the question.
I can believe that.
Aaron was asking, do we have choices?
We have a choice.
I don't think so. I think angels are separate. Are they no? They're no human. Are they no?
Well, that's really tricky, Aaron. Angels are an entity of their own. They're not human, right? Humans are humans, angels are angels. So to come back as an angel, probably not. However, you could come back as the wrath or the grace of God, as a soldier of God, and you'll be similar to an angel. You won't be an angel, but you will have the armor, or whatever. But to be an actual angel, no. But could you come back as a warrior of God, whether you're here for good or whatever? Then yeah. So, but no, a human can't become an angel, in my opinion. This is only my opinion, okay? But you can come back as a warrior of God, and you'll have wings, and you'll be able to do pretty much everything an angel can. But an angel's got the power. You will be given the power by the angels for the job you're doing. See, like the angels have all that power, they have all that grace, they have all that strength. You as a human cannot generate that, but they can give it to you if you're doing their work.
Drew was saying, I've lost it now. It was there a minute ago. I just saw it 2 seconds. About me with Douglas Castle and the Edinburgh Castle. I tell you talk about the feeling pulled towards somebody, to something. No, that's true, Drew. I mean, Douglas Castle and Edinburgh Castle do have ties between each other. So it is possible that maybe you were, from a previous life, were connected to one and travelled to the other, or vice versa, because they would have had ties way back, if that makes sense.
You could have had a family member. You could have had a family member, for all you know, that's been there.
I hope that makes some kind of sense.
Yep.
Back to the reincarnation part, I think that my opinion is that I have an old soul and that I've come back.
Yep.
Possibly more than once. I feel like I'm from the 1600s. I think that in this lifetime, that I brought with me stuff that I know from other lifetimes, because it's like I grew up fast. It's like I was always older than my age.
Oh, sorry, I'm gonna have to step down.
No problem, man. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Danny. Thank you.
Take care now.
Take care. See you, my friend.
I know you mean, Luna. You feel wiser than your years, in a way.
Right. It makes me think deeper. It makes me be more cautious about things. I analyze everything, and I think that it stems from being an old soul. I literally analyze everything, down to relationships, down to everything in my life. I analyze it before I give an answer to it. I mean, I literally think
I'm the way that if something doesn't make sense to me or sit right with me, I'll be like that. I'll annoy me until I get the answer to it, until I figure it out, and I'll, take it apart piece by piece, and try and analyze it that way.
I do the
If that
same.
makes sense.
I do the same thing. Like I analyze people, and I don't mean to do that, and it's not that I'm trying to judge them. It's I try to figure them out, I guess. How they are, or their demeanor, and how, what they feel about things, or if they're telling the truth, or if they're not telling the truth, or I analyze everything.
So some people in the past have called me a kind of mini Columbo. I don't know if people are familiar who Columbo was.
Yeah.
Just one more question, sir. Just one more question.
I said, no, it's not about age, Lynn. I'm not talking about age. I mean, he's still on the TV to this day. You know what I mean? But I've been compared to a wee mini Columbo sometimes, because I'll keep going and going at it. But I know the cigar is a big coat and obviously he'd hair, which I'm kind of lacking. But
he keeps coming back to ask a question now and now again.
In other words, Scott, modern day Columbo of Scotland, right?
Aye, a baldy Columbo, a baldy good looking Columbo, I might add. I'm just going to throw that one in there. Listen, people were paying money for me last week. Remember? People want to pay money for me for a night with me last week. I'm going to be put. Well, the refund will need to wait, because I've not been paid yet. So I've not seen. I've not.
A little stuck on itself.
I think you see in America, when I've not seen any green yet. I've not seen the green. Is that what you saying? I've not seen the green or whatever. I just heard an almighty. Excuse me a minute, folks. I just heard an almighty crash. I'll be back in a minute.
I don't know that way.
It's the spirits.
Right? They're laughing at you. They're laughing with the right one. They said, we'll change that subject, Frank.
I'm just a bit to end the show, guys.
Well, you got like change the subject for him.
Everything's all right. Everything's all right. I know what it is. It's the cats. I've got parts of a cupboard sitting up on top of a shelf, and they've just knocked them off the shelf. So that's it. Drama over again. Never get cats or pets. I'm telling you, never. Your life's never dull. You know what I mean? But as I was saying, no. Who said I was good looking? That was me, wasn't it? I said I was good looking.
It's maybe my roommate. Is he good looking? Is he good looking?
Well, I can see by looking at the comments, nobody has agreed with me. I mean, I think I'm in a band of my own.
I must say, this has been absolutely brilliant tonight, but I'm going to have to end the show because it's nearly 11:30 at night, and at 12 o'clock I turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah.
Scott needs to go and apply his makeup and his beauty potions, make him beautiful for the week ahead.
Do you listen to him, Luna? Or anybody else listening? Do not listen to him.
Listen, guys.
See the shave and a shine today. Shine, I said shine.
I'll be doing a live stream on Tuesday, guys, the witching hour. And Luna, you're welcome to come in because it's the witching hour, tarot card readings and that. And thank you everybody for coming. And thank you, Luna, about telling me about my new housemate. Well, not my new one. He's been here for a while, but
Can I plug tomorrow night before we go?
Plug it.
Tomorrow night, folks, 9 p.m. our time. We'll be doing our usual parapole. Now, tomorrow night it's not on the paranormal. As I said the other week, we're going to change it about, every now and again. Tomorrow night we're doing Henry VIII, one of Britain's most famous monarchs. We're going to be discussing Henry VIII, tyrant or hero. So hopefully you can come along for that. It's turning out well so far. And that's 9 o'clock tomorrow night. I think it's about 3 o'clock Lunar's time. I think. Have I got that right, Lunar? 6 hours?
Well, there's 6 hours difference between me and you guys, yes.
I'm learning. So that's it. Parapole tomorrow night. Henry VIII.
I'll be live on Tuesday at 9:30, which is, I think, 3:30 in the afternoon for you, Luna.
I'm going live tonight.
Oh, well, I'll pop in then. I'll pop in the old chat because I'll be lying sleeping. But when I go down the way.
What time are you on tonight, Luna?
Let's see, what time is it now? Probably about 6:30 or 7 my time. I'll go on. I gotta eat dinner first, and then I'll
right, guys. I would just like to say to everybody, thank you for coming. Catch you later, Luna, and catch you later, Scott, and catch you later in the chat, guys.
Yep,
see you
Luna. Thank you, everybody's watching.
Check your channel. Catch you, guys.
Bye. Take care. See you soon.